I will now make a statement as the President of the General Assembly. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, more than 3 decades ago, Nelson Mandela addressed this very assembly, as we saw it in the video, with so much emotion and joy, as the first democratically elected president of the Republic of South Africa. After 27 years of imprisonment, isolation and dehumanization by the apartheid government, he spoke not with bitterness, but with dignity, resolve, and determination to build a different future, demonstrating through his own example that even after generations of injustice, reconciliation is possible. Amid deep division, societies can choose dialogue over hatred. And after conflict, peace can prevail. Nelson Mandela reminded this assembly, us, of the same principles that guided the founding of this organization. That peace requires more than the absence of conflict. That it requires human dignity, justice, and equality for all. As we mark the Nelson Mandela International Day, we honor not only that vision, we acknowledge our own responsibility to carry this work, this spirit forward. As reflected in this year's theme, it is still in our hands to combat poverty and inequality. To quote Mandela himself, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made, and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Yet today, progress to end poverty remains uneven. 808 million people, nearly 1 in 10 worldwide, are living in extreme poverty. And although member states committed through the Sustainable Development Goals to end poverty in all its forms, only 1 in 5 countries is on track to halt its national poverty rate by 2030. And as we know, and as we have seen in the short movie, behind these numbers are families, like us, but families who are forced to choose between food and medicine, children whose education is interrupted, communities displaced by conflict or climate shocks, and people denied the opportunity to shape their own futures. Poverty is not only a development challenge, it is a question of human rights, justice, and ultimately peace. Because poverty, inequality, and exclusion fuel instability, fomenting conflict and crisis, which deepens poverty once more, resulting in a vicious cycle that no country can break alone. Yet, we should not forget why we are here today, like every other year. The words, "It is still in our hands," and the statues with the hands in this building remind us every day of our power to make progress when we act with purpose. Indeed, the record shows that determined action can achieve, also in relation with the Sustainable Development Goals. Between 1990 and 2019, the number of people living in extreme poverty was reduced by around 66%. And we have learned that when the root causes of poverty and inequality, conflict, discrimination, unequal opportunity, climate vulnerability, and exclusion are addressed, progress is not only achieved, it is sustained. So this Nelson Mandela International Day should not only be a moment to honor his legacy through remembrance, but rather through action. Because as we enter the final 4 years of the 2030 Agenda, it is indeed still in our hands, but The pronunciation has to be in our hands to make the active choice required to end poverty and reduce inequality every day. That is why at the high-level political forum last week, I issued a clear call to focus our efforts on implementing in the years remaining until 2030. To not allow ourselves to wallow in self-pity or dare to say that 4 years is not enough time, but instead remember about 27 years in prison and to draw inspiration and conviction from the legacy of a man who endured these 27 years in prison under a system designed to strip him of his dignity and never gave up hope or never gave up trying. So 4 years is nothing. And I reiterate my call, instead of taking and talking about any post-2030 agenda, let us focus all our efforts on today, what we can do now. How many households can we help in 4 years? How many more children can we educate? How many mouths can we feed? It is in our hands. Like Nelson Mandela, let's fight right to the finish. I thank you.